Ares is one of the most commonly known Olympians. He is the god of war, civil order, and battle lust. Ancient Greek art depicts Ares as one of two versions: a bearded plated warrior matured by battle and war, or a nude boy with a helm on his head and a spear in his hand. While this god is one of the most commonly known, he certainly is not the most popular among the other Olympians. His quick temper, aggressiveness, and his unstable lust for war caused many to hate Ares. But it isn't just his characteristics that made many turn their noses up in disgust at the god. Modern scholars emphasize hardly the fact that Ares was more or less of an abnormal nature in comparison to his more heavenly depicted god and goddess counterparts. Ares was not just the god of war, but the embodiment of bloodlust and slaughter. In Homer's version of the Iliad, Zeus referred to Ares as the god he hated the most. Ares was never widely worshipped in Greece. He was the representation of the distasteful aspects of battle and slaughter. Homer established Ares as the son of Zeus and his consort Hera. While he was one of the main Olympian deities, not many were fond of the god of war. Despite this, Ares was often joined in battle by his sister ARES and his sons Phobos and Deimos. Most of Ares' worshippers came from the northern areas of Greece. In the early times of Sparta, prisoners of war were made as sacrifices to the god. The mythology surrounding the god is not extensive by any means. Most famously, however, Ares was best known for the affair he committed with Aphrodite. For the ancient Greek gods and goddesses, sexual love affairs were allowed between one another. However, if the couple were to continue to see each other and maintain a relationship with their second lover, it was considered infidelity. And that is what Aphrodite's and Ares' relationship was: infidelity. Hephaestus, Aphrodite's husband, found out about the affair after Helios, the sun, found Aphrodite and Ares sharing a bed together one morning. Helios ran in to inform Hephaestus, confirming his suspicions of Aphrodite's adulterous relationship. Crafting together a plan to catch the pair together, Hephaestus lied to Aphrodite, telling her that he was leaving for a trip and would not be back for quite some time. Aphrodite saw this as a chance to spend intimate time with Ares together. What the pair didn't know, however, was that Hephaestus had laid a trap out to catch Aphrodite and Ares together in bed. When his plan worked, Hephaestus called all of the gods to come together and laugh at them, humiliating the pair. After the two had been caught, Aphrodite had since moved on from Ares, but the god of war never moved on from her. Many years later, Aphrodite fell in love with a mortal man. The god grew jealous and angry that another man had caught the heart of Aphrodite. Ares wanted to put a stop to this relationship and turned himself into a wild boar. While Aphrodite's lover, Adonis, was out hunting one day when a wild boar attacked the hunter. Bleeding to death, Adonis was held in Aphrodite's arms until his last breath. Some stories state that it was Artemis that sent the wild boar after Adonis, killing him. But the most popular depiction of the hunter's death was by Ares' hands, or tusks in this case. While it wasn't depicted in the myths whether or not Aphrodite grew to hate Ares after the death of Adonis, but it seems beyond reasonable for her to. There were no further accounts of Ares and Aphrodite's ever having another love affair again, and many speculate that this was because not only Zeus for fear of punishment, but also because Ares meddled in her love affairs, murdering the man she loved deeply. Another popular myth about Ares was his great battle with Hercules. Ares' son, Cycnus, was well known for ambushing travelers who were traveling to seek out the Oracle of Delphi. This troubled Apollo, angering the god of prophecy, truth, and healing. Apollo sent Hercules to deal with the matter in any way he pleased. This led to the death of Cycnus at the hands of Hercules. Enraged with grief, Ares challenged the Greek hero. To Ares' dismay, Hercules was under the protection of Athena, who protected him against anyone wanting to harm him. The Greek hero had even managed to land a couple of hits on the god of war because of this. While his son had angered many, Ares was in the right to attempt to avenge his son's death. Homer's version of the Iliad depicts Ares in a less than desirable light, portraying the god as one of the many unpopular gods in the pantheon. Ares is described as a hateful man-killer having a glutton for war. Homer's picture of Ares shows his weakness when compared to the other Greek gods. Athena, who supported the Achaeans during the Trojan, beat Ares, a supporter of the Trojans, knocking him out of the large rock. According to myth, Ares was worse off during his battle with the Achaean hero Diomedes. Diomedes managed to injure the god of war with his spear with the aid of Athena. Homer described in the Iliad that when he was struck by the spear, Ares screamed like the shouts of 10,000 men. Ares fled back to Olympus, complaining to Zeus about his situation. Zeus wanted nothing to do with Ares and his complaints, but had ordered Paeon to heal his battle wounds anyway. Ares is known for upsetting the peace of Olympus. Ares was accused of killing Haliarthias, Poseidon's son, on the stream banks below the Athenian Acropolis. A special count was put together called the Areopagus on the hill near the stream. Ares disclosed to the court that Haliarthias raped Alcippe, his daughter. Upon hearing this news, Ares was acquitted of his murder charges. The court of Areopagus became the official place of trial that involved murder after Ares' murder trial. The god of war was definitely not one of the better gods, but Ares, despite his bloodlust and battle lust, did much good in his life. He attempted to avenge his son's murder, killed his daughter's rapist, and apprehended the criminal who was plotting to kidnap the god of death, Sisyphus. Despite the hatred and annoyance thrown Ares' way, Hestia still loved him unconditionally. In return for her unconditional love, Ares made a declaration to even the most merciless warlords that no one shall ever harm the priestess of Hestia. Those who did harm to them committed the highest heresy in all of ancient Greece. Ares may have been a warlord himself, but he was a protector of those he cared about.